Welcome, my little couch potatoes, to the comfiest courtroom on the internet. I'm your host, Llama, and it's time for dramatic testimony, overruled objections, and absolutely unqualified opinions. So grab your snuggiest blanket, some delicious snacks, and get ready to watch court with your internet besties. This is Couch Court with Llama.
We bring the jury.
Hello, couch potatoes, and happy Saturday. You never get to see us
Happy
on
Saturday.
Saturdays, but we had to because some big new filings just came out this morning, and we had to wait for Buffy to get done with her new gorgeous haircut.
Thank you.
I love. You've been waiting like a month for it nonstop. You almost said you were going to do it yourself.
I was. I even told her that while she was cutting my hair.
Yeah.
I was like, I almost just chopped it myself.
Right? Aren't you glad you were a little bit patient this time? Maybe, perhaps.
I was very patient, and it was worth it.
It was worth it.
It's worth
I
it.
look so green today. That's fine. I'm green with envy by
Your
your gorgeous
lighting?
hair. It's something.
Yours will be gorgeous too. Aren't you going to
I
get
know.
yours done?
Yeah, probably in the beginning of August. So it'll be
Yeah,
shorter
see,
than
you're
yours.
Get really?
Yeah. Don't you
How
remember when I
short?
cut it a few years ago?
I know it looked
was like-
amazing.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that
yes,
again.
do that again.
So,
Yes,
yeah.
do that again.
That's what I'll be doing.
I was
So-
thinking like really short, like short, but your hair looked amazing like that. You should definitely do that again.
That is what I'm going to do. Thank you. No, that's as short as I ever go. I am too scared to get it any shorter, but it's still pretty short for me compared to all of
This
all
is
of
the
this down here.
shortest I've ever been because my hair's always been long.
Well, you guys, so while you were off getting your hair did,
I know. Sitting in the chair, I get a message.
I know. I'm watching Big
And I'm like-
Brother. Like, what is happening? Well, apparently there's a new filing in Laura Owens felony case, which we haven't necessarily covered in our timeline, but I read it and
Yeah,
I was like, shut up. We have to talk about this today because we weren't going to be able we weren't going to talk about Lauren Owens stuff until like next Friday or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, we cannot not talk about this because you haven't read it. You have no idea.
I have
I
no
have.
idea what you're talking about.
So you're going to love it. I'm not going to do any spoilers because you know me. But first, before we get into it, let's say hi to everybody. Hi,
Okay.
virtual juror. Hello, Amos. And Lady in Gray. Hello, and
Yay,
welcome.
she
Hello,
made it.
Kelly. Mary Smith, who we've now converted to a Big Brother enthusiast
Yes.
because last night was a
On,
holiday
us.
for us. So it's
It
Big
was.
Brother time. We watch live feeds all day, and we've recruited some new house guests, and we love that.
Oh, yeah.
Hi,
like it.
Squid. Hey, girl. Hope you're doing well. Long time no see. Happy to see you here. I know. Isn't her hair amazing? I love it. Oh, now I can't wait. And then my head won't feel like it's like 30 pounds every day. Hi, Bella.
I know. It's so much lighter. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. I said, I'm gonna go step on the scale and see how much weight I lost.
Right? If you need to lose a few pounds, sometimes getting rid of your hair helps. Hi, hello, Ivy. Another new Big Brother recruit we've got.
Yes.
Hello, Rochelle. Hope you're doing well today. And Bruce, you were live earlier today. Yes, I'm pretty sure. Yes. Sorry, when it's Big Brother seasons, time is different for us.
Yeah.
So the days blur together. But I believe Bruce was live this morning going over this as well. So be sure after we're done, go watch his take on things. I don't know exactly what he said, so I can't tell you.
I don't know anything about anything.
So make sure you go watch Bruce's coverage as well. Hello, PGT and Michelle. You guys are all here. I love this. We're like,
But I do like to listen to other creators and their opinions on how they. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and what's really great about this community is everyone comes from like a different perspective or experience. And I love that. Right. And it's okay if like we don't agree on stuff. It's fine. It doesn't make one better than the other at all. So be sure to go give him a like and a listen. I'll probably listen to him later when the BB feeds are down. Because that's how I prioritize my life now. So
Yeah, we're on BB time.
Oh no. I thought your hair was really cute when I was on with you, but I get it. I get it. Hi, K-Dubs. Good morning. Oh, is it the wrong Mary? Well, it's fine. You should still join the Discord. How am I gonna go live when they're doing chores? I know, it's hard. I got somebody taking notes for me, don't worry. Yes, okay, do it, whatever it is. Whether it's cutting your hair or
So
joining us.
chop your hair off.
It is Saturday day in Montana, it is, but breaking news. So, and we had time, so why not? I'm sorry if you hear elbow feet in the background, but he's playing his game because
We
we
can't.
gave
I
him his
didn't hear.
time. So let him talk if you hear him. That's what that's about. Hello, bells. All right, so let's get into it today. Well, before we do, I just want to remind everyone. Oh, I have a cool banner. It's not a cool banner, it's just a banner. I don't know why I said cool. But Couch Court with Llama is moved over to its new channel at Couch Court with Llama. So if you haven't yet, please go over there and subscribe to that channel, hit the notification bell, as well as the True Crime and Wine Time one. We are streaming simultaneously at the same time for now until that till that channel can stand on its own. I'm not going anywhere on True Crime and Wine Time. I have like several other shows here on this channel as well if you're watching us on True Crime and Wine Time. So we just want that show to have its own channel just because it gives us more algorithm time to play with to appease YouTube gods. And so our other shows do well. So make sure you do that. That'd be really, really great and really helpful. And if you go and watch all of our bricks and minifigs coverage that we've done so far, we're going to be hitting that really hard the next few weeks. Months, probably. Let's be honest, it's months.
I was saying, I don't know. That's a deep one.
So catch those, so you can get caught up on those shenanigans. Because if you are really into Laura Owens and like the complicatedness of it, the lies, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I promise. Yeah, I can't hide. You'll follow me. Yes. Yeah, everybody, please like whichever stream you are on. It would be greatly appreciated. So let's get into this. But okay, so first thing I want to do is I want to play this clip from
Okay.
the they're at Clayton's Justice on X. But you might know the name as Seeking Justice for All Victims of Laura Owens. Okay, so that's where this little clip comes from. This is a clip, I believe, from her debtors. That's not right. Hold on, I'm hearing my voice somewhere else, and that's weird. This comes from a clip from Laura's Chapter 7 bankruptcy case, the meeting of the creditors. But it's, again, Buffy doesn't know what we're going to talk about. So I just want you to keep this clip in mind, okay, as I go to read the document. Now, this bankruptcy case, sorry, I got like a hair or something on my mouth. Sorry. Was February 9th of this year. So literally 4 months ago, 5 months ago. I know, look at her hair. Isn't it gorgeous? I love it. I love it. So let's give this a quick listen to. It's just 1 minute and 30 seconds, okay? But important to keep in mind. All right, you ready, Buff? Yeah, okay.
Trying to market myself as an entrepreneur, but it's not like I've got these businesses that are, like operable.
Okay, I'm not asking yet about whether they're operating. I'm asking about whether or not you are an owner and you hold yourself out to be an owner of these entities on your LinkedIn account and on your sworn schedules in this case. So, and now you're saying you're not an owner. You were just, well, I don't know what you were. So were you an owner of the 4 entities?
I don't know what you were.
I mean, I'm more like, they're my family's entities, and I'm more like the face of my family's entities with those businesses, I guess.
Okay, well, we can.
That's the best way I would.
Okay, so you don't pay any bills for yourself?
No.
And you say that are you saying that you've never earned any income on your own ever?
Correct.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 35.
So 35 years, you have never made any income on your own to pay your own bills?
I mean, like I said, I'm in the face of my parents' businesses, so they've, paid my living expenses in exchange for me helping them.
Okay, so that's kind of a compensation for your services then.
I mean, I don't take advantage of it, but
Oh, that was the end of that clip. That's just the clip, guys. All right. So keep in mind, Buff, that she just said to the federal fucking government that she has never had a job, she has never made money, and that she is 35 years old, and that her parents pay for her shit. But she doesn't take advantage of them. Just so we're clear, because I don't think she knows what that means. All right. So
she doesn't take advantage of them. Okay.
Right. So I just want us to keep this in mind for the next 8 pages. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
Oh gosh. I'm so ready for this.
All right. So let me read it to you. So this was filed on Friday, or no, Thursday. My apologies. I'm not good with dates. This was filed on July 9th of this year. So that would be Thursday. This is from Laura's side, and this is her Arizona v. Laura Owens criminal felony case, where she is facing 14 felony charges for perjury. Okay. So one would think they're going to do everything they can to like be honest, right? Especially when the state is calling you a liar. I mean, one would think a reasonable person would think.
Uh-oh. I'm guessing that's not the case, just the way you set that up.
So this is their motion for declaration of indigency and eligibility for court-appointed experts and investigations. And you're going to love this too, Buffy, because we literally talked about this last week of what was going to happen next. So high fives for one another. Being like, boom.
We called it.
Called it.
Is she asking for a new attorney too?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not
but
yet.
It's coming.
Not yet, probably.
But it's coming.
So
that's
she still has her retained lawyer,
right.
Christian Looters. So it says defendant Laura Owens
for money for investigations and experts leads me to believe that that's coming next.
Yeah. So they're filing this on her behalf. And she's asking the court to issue an order declaring her indigent, which, if you don't know, not you, but other people, that means you don't have money to pay for things, right? So, like, if you get arrested and you don't make a lot of money, the court will declare you indigent to get a public defender. All right. You usually have to provide some income proof of something that you are not capable of affording an efficient legal defense, right? That you're entitled to. So that's what that word means, in case whoever's listening may not know that.
I would be filing indigent because I don't have no money for that.
Right. I don't know.
I just spent it all on hair. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, it's fine, apparently. You know, if you spend $1 bazillion a month at berries, it's fine.
Oh.
It's fine. Indigent. Indigent? Well, we're going to do our best.
Indigent.
Don't confuse me. Don't confuse me. All right. And she believes she's eligible for court-appointed assistance in the preparation of her defense. All right. So here's her relevant factual summary. The indictment includes 14 felony counts, and if convicted at trial, Ms. Owens could be facing decades in prison. Defendant is currently unemployed and living with her parents at their home, where they assist her with all of her living expenses. Now, don't forget, her parents are in the middle of a bankruptcy hearing right now as well. Prior to 2025, when the charges were originally brought in the case, Ms. Owens had a good job and a solid income. Yeah. Yeah, but
did she?
Yeah.
Because that's not what we just heard.
That is not what she just told the federal government. No. No. That is not what she told the feds at all. As a matter of fact, we literally just heard her on the stand 4 or 5 months ago saying that she has never had a job. She has never had income at the age of 35 years old.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
It's so bad, right? What?
On the
Why?
stand.
Uh-huh.
In court.
Federal court.
Girl. Girl.
And now, so both of these things cannot be true. They can't, Laura. So what'd you do? Like, did
Are you
you
lying now? Or
are you
lying
lying?
then?
Right? Which one? Either way, I don't know which is worse, lying to the federal government or lying to the court that you're facing 14 felony charges that, as your lawyer just reminded everyone, is facing decades in prison
For lying.
for lying. Like, oh, so as soon as I read that, I was like, oh my God, we got to talk about this. But don't worry, it gets better.
How did they miss that? Like, does he not know about what was said before? Like, does he not know? Does she not say, yeah, we can't put that in there? Does she?
I don't know. It's so bad. It's so bad. Because that's a blatant lie. It's a blatant lie to one of the courts. And don't forget, guys, in case because we haven't really done a lot of the deep diving into the bankruptcy yet, because we're getting there on our timeline. But like, so her parents are currently in, what are they filing right now? Chapter 13 bankruptcy or something like that. Anyway, Queen Jennifer
That was 13,
was originally
now it's an 11. Is it?
13.
Yes,
yes, you're right. Yeah. Originally that was 13. They dismissed that one and then they refiled for 11, I think it was. So on Laura, what we just heard, that clip, her U.S. trustee was Queen Jennifer. Well, now in the Owen parent bankruptcy, their U.S. trustee is also Queen Jennifer.
Can they use this? They have to be able to use this.
Why couldn't they? I mean, I don't know. I don't see why they wouldn't be able to, because they also just said her parents are paying for everything. Is that on their bankruptcy stuff? Because remember, they can't afford their house, even though, they make $20,000 a month, 20,000 plus a month.
Oh, guys.
So don't worry, it gets better. However, she has since lost all previous sources of income
that she never had, allegedly.
Right. And completely relies on her family for financial support. All of her savings, assets have been expended on her multiple legal battles, including this case. What savings and assets?
Why would you even tell the court that you've got multiple legal battles? The court's like, what the hell have you been up to?
Right? All they know about is this one. So what? Why is any of this being? This is so not good, in my opinion.
Oh, boo-hoo. I feel sorry for you. She's in so much trouble with her multiple legal battles.
Right. Now, this is great too. While defendant's parents provide the bulk of her support, I thought it was all. I mean, that's literally what you just said a couple sentences above, but okay.
You're not more impressive than Gingras.
No, this is not great. Including providing Ms. Owens with a monthly allowance to cover the expenses listed in the affidavit of financial information. They themselves are currently in federal bankruptcy proceedings. So this bitch gets a monthly allowance from her parents. How long has this been going on for, this monthly allowance that she, this is all questionable. Let's go to the footnote real quick. A financial affidavit will be provided to the court under seal, which will establish Ms. Owens' indigency and eligibility for court-appointed assistance. Of course, it's going to be
Objection.
Objection. Get the biggest magnifying glass you can possibly find, because
I want to see it.
Right. Oh, okay.
You know what? If I was an Arizona resident, I would be mad that that's under seal because you're paying for counsel.
Mm-hmm.
I
Tell
would
me
be
why
like,
it needs to be under
no,
seal. I've seen them.
no. My opinion, I want to see it.
I've seen court documents of people, their stuff being there to declare them, indigent. I've seen it. So I don't see why it
If
has
my
to be
money
sealed.
is paying for it, I want to see it. That's my
Mhm.
opinion.
Especially when they already have a private attorney that they're paying for.
Right?
So my employer gets me a biweekly allowance. Also, hello to everybody we haven't got to say yet. I'm sorry. I only have this stream like this big on my screen right now, so I can see like 2 comments at a time over here. Oops, sorry. Let's see. They're not under seal in your state? Yeah, I mean, you can ask, I guess, but I agree. I think it's BS. So they go on to say, Ms. Owens now respectfully requests the court to declare her indigent and eligible for court appointed assistance in the preparation of her defense. This will include the assistance of an expert in digital forensics and may include additional experts such as an investigator and or a mitigation expert. The defendant submits that, as with all other indigent defendants, the specific assistance will be obtained through the Office of Court Appointed Counsel. So she's saying, well, I got money to pay for like this lawyer, but like I don't have enough to pay for all these other experts, which are very expensive, by the way, especially that digital forensic expert, which Buff and I talked about this last week. We said after the last hearing they had, they're not even close to getting ready to go to trial. She does not have an expert. They are going to ask for an expert for digital forensics, as they should.
Yes.
In her case, absolutely, with most of the evidence being on 4 terabytes. Yeah,
That's a
they're
lot.
gonna need one. That's a lot. And that that's gonna cost a lot of money. Do you like the amount of man hours just billable before they even like write a report or anything is astronomical, honestly. So it's not surprising me that she's asking for all of this, but also there's no way her lawyer's a cheap lawyer.
No.
So mm,
It's just really strange to ask for money for investigators and for experts when you are forking out money for a private attorney. I
yeah.
don't have money. Well, the next question I would ask is, well, how are you paying for this, Miss Owens? Is he pro
Mhm.
bono? I doubt it.
No, he's not. He has said that he's been paid.
He's
Kato
been
says this
paid
means
with what?
I know. I don't know. I don't know. This is so not
IOUs?
good. So not good. Kato says this means she's going to take a plea deal. I disagree, but we'll get to that later.
Now, I don't know if they'd be filing these motions at all if she was going to take the plea deal.
Exactly. This is asking. So normally, I mean, asking for this stuff is not unusual at all. We talked once about how, in criminal crime court, as Spain would like to say, the state has a huge burden of proof, right? But they also have all of the resources. All right. The state doesn't have to ask for money to do shit. They have the money to do everything. And that's why no matter what in court, it is a David v. Goliath situation. The government is the government, where the defense, even with a public defender, they do not have the same amount of resources as the prosecutors and if she were to have a public defender, right? They would still have to ask the court for money to be allocated for these expenses, these additional expenses. So this is not an unusual filing at all. But what it says, and the fact that you have your own private attorney, is the question. The problems I have with this is, one, some things don't make sense to your previous statements from several months ago. And also, you have a privately retained attorney. So we'll get into that as well. So discussion, they go over that Rule 6.4 of the Arizona Rules of Criminal Procedures sets forth the procedure of the court to determine whether a defendant is indigent. The defendant, therefore, requests the court issue an order declaring her indigent and eligible for court-appointed assistance in the preparation of her defense. Again, you can sit there and tell the court, oh, I'm so poor, I can't afford anything. They're going to make you prove it first because obviously they're spending resources that taxpayers pay for, and they want to make sure that that money is being spent adequately, you know? So here's their examples of why this should happen. So it says the defendant is entitled to the assistance of an investigator, experts, and the funds needed for this assistance. And I'll say this too. If she had a public defender, I probably wouldn't say anything about this because it's all very, very normal. So, but again, there's those issues of the lies, and you have a private attorney that makes me go, really?
Yeah.
The paramount.
It's not a good look.
It's not a good look. It's not a good look. No. So the paramount importance of an indigent defendant, of an investigator, and other services are recognized by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in Mason v. State of Arizona from 1974, apparently. The court's analysis first surveyed the constitutional principles requiring that indigent defendants be provided with assistance when charged with a criminal offense. And again, I agree, right?
A criminal crime.
A criminal crime courts. See Gideon v. Wainwright, all right? And then they put a little excerpt here. Therefore, the Mason court stated that the principles steadfastly announced in the Supreme Court decisions reviewed above require us to hold that the effective assistance of counsel guarantee of the due process clause requires, when necessary, the allowance of investigative expenses or appointment of investigative assistants for indigent defendants in order to ensure effective preparation of their defense by their attorneys. Again, I see nothing wrong with that, right? If the state gets to do it, then why can't the defendant get to do that? Like, especially, well, we'll get into why experts are very important on both sides, because you can't just trust state experts or what the state uses them for. All right. We've seen it a bazillion times. Apparently that's my word of the day today, bazillion. I've said it a lot. For example, celebrate if you watched the Karen Reed trial.
Would you say you've said it a bazillion times?
I think I have said it a bazillion and one time. Now, the court concluded that the failure of the state to provide such assistance when needed results in ineffective trial representation. This can cause issues on appeals and have decisions overturned. That is the one thing that is most important is no matter what, we do want Laura to have a fair trial. Even when somebody is guilty or feel that they're guilty, everyone deserves a fair trial. And this is, fairness to that degree.
And
she
deserves one too.
Yeah. And I know we all hate that. I get that. It's very aggravating, but there's a very, very good reason for it. So it's got to be the same rules for everybody, right? Because there's a lot of innocent people that get caught up in stuff, a lot of poor people that get caught up in stuff. So it's frustrating. We get it. By the way, we 100% understand how angry this makes everybody, but that's just the system, So you're not going to be happy with every single step of this process at all. In this case, the defendant is facing charges that could potentially send her to prison for many years. Fingers crossed. To deny her the assistance of an investigator or certain expert witnesses would be tantamount to denying her right to fully investigate the crimes she faces or the defenses that might be available to her solely because of her indigency. This would clearly be a denial of her right to equal protection. The United States Supreme Court explicitly condemned condemned such allocations of rights based on wealth in Griffin v. Illinois. There can be no equal justice where the kind of trial a man gets depends on the amount of money he has. Well, while I agree, that is not reality still to this day from 1956. But okay, okay, money does a lot in court. So okay. B, the equal protection clauses of Arizona and the United States Constitution guarantee the defendant the services of an investigator and other expert services at the state's expense. In Mason v. State of Arizona, an indigent federal habeas corpus petitioner challenged the refusal of the state trial court to appoint an investigator in his homicide prosecution. The Ninth Circle of Appeal, this was in 1974, the Ninth Court of Appeals stated quite clearly that unless the state provided Mason with an equivalent and fundamentally fair substitute for the normally available investigative services of the public defender's investigative staff, he was denied equal protection. The court further stated that a state court should probably view with considerable liberality a motion for such pretrial assistance. There can be no question that Ms. Owens, an indigent defendant, would be entitled to the resources of the public defender's investigative staff if she were represented by the public defender in this matter. That's right. She would. And the defender would still have to ask, of course. It would be easily given or granted, probably at least the digital forensic would, for sure. I don't know about any other ones, but that's the peak of the case. So, and remember, experts also help the lawyer. Lawyers only have so much time, right? And they're not experts on all the subjects. So hiring experts also helps lawyers better understand the case well enough to defendant or, you know, prosecute it, whichever side it's on. It's very helpful to lawyers to understand and be adequate counsel. Absolutely. But she doesn't have a public defender right now. She has a private attorney. So that's interesting. Accordingly, for now, I know we're like this, girl. Me too. Me too. Accordingly, the denial of an investigator appointed at the state's expense would amount to a denial of equal protection under the law. This constitutes an independent ground for granting the defendant's request for declaration of indigency and eligibility for court-appointed experts and investigators. And also, I'm not saying she can't be approved for this just because she has a private attorney. I haven't usually seen that, though, in trials we've watched,
I'm saying
but I'm not a lawyer. I mean, if you're able to shell out, I mean, even with Clayton's case, and it wasn't even a criminal case. It was $150,000 in 6 months. A criminal case, yeah, with 4 terabytes of digital evidence, it's going to cost a lot more than that. A lot more than that. Just
Ask
for
Karen
that.
Reed how that went.
Mm-hmm. Pro boner. Oh, that's funny. So how this is going to be ruled on, I do not know. I don't know. It's just a interesting argument.
I don't know. I mean, I guess he has to know the judge, right? Usually you know the judge you're dealing with, right?
Yeah.
And I wonder, and I know not our courts would be okay with that.
No.
But how do you say no when you're entitled to a defense?
We'll see. I don't know. It'll be interesting, but we'll definitely have a discussion on that here shortly. So the defendant is entitled to an investigator and expert appointed at the state's expense because a reasonable attorney would engage such services for a client having the independent financial means to pay for them. Isn't that what you're just saying? That, okay, that you as her lawyer would engage in? I don't know. Okay. In State v. Knapp from 1977, the Arizona Supreme Court considered what type of investigative and expert assistance must be provided to indigent criminal defendants. The court noted that the issue of the investigative and expert assistance to indigent defendants implicated three separate constitutional rights: due process, equal protection, and effective assistance of counsel. Now, which makes sense, right? If you have a public defender, they, one, have a buttload of cases, but two, they're not experts at everything. So the state or the judge would probably allow, funding for them to have an expert. So that way people are represented fairly. Okay. In determining what services were required to satisfy the due process guarantee of fundamental fairness, the court made reference to this code, which provides for investigative and expert assistance in indigent criminal defendants in federal cases. All right, well, this is federal cases, but okay. Counsel for a person who is financially unable to obtain investigative, expert, or other services necessary for an adequate defense may request them in an ex parte application. Upon finding, after appropriate inquiry and ex parte proceedings, that the services are necessary and the person is financially unable to obtain them, the court shall authorize counsel to obtain the services. The standard for deciding what constitutes necessity under the code is whether a reasonable attorney would engage such services for a client having the independent financial means to pay for them. Okay. And then let's see, the Supreme Court comes back and says that the bar should be bold in seeking subsection E authorizations, and the bench should be tolerant in entertaining and relatively generous in granting them, which I agree, but we'll get into that conversation as well.
And so basically it's saying that if a private attorney wouldn't ask them for their client who is paying for them, then you wouldn't grant that motion. But if it's something they would grant, you would need to, the state would need to pay for it. That's what they're saying.
Absolutely.
You can't be unreasonable. You can't just be asking for stupid shit just because the state's paying.
Exactly, right? So they could, I don't know exactly. If they asked for digital forensic, they asked for an investigator and mitigator, I think. But they could be like, oh, we want a psych doctor or something. It's not relevant to this case. The answer is going to be no. It serves no relevance to the crimes committed, I would think. So, or at least that would be hard. That would be up for arguments.
Argument. I would say because she's saying she's autistic and that she has all these. I know, but it's going to be part of her defense, in my opinion, or at least her mitigating circumstances.
Probably. Fair point. But if they had to weigh that between that and a digital forensic investigate, the digital forensic is basically a guarantee, considering
how much digital
the evidence, because the state's going to have the state absolutely will have their own forensic digital expert. Okay. So therefore, usually when the state has a certain expert, they'll allow the defense to have an equal one if they can afford. Now, the defense doesn't have to. They don't have to have an equal expert, but that's usually what we've seen in that. So, let's see, where was I? Because there is no question that a reasonable attorney defending a similar case would engage the services of an investigator and or expert if the client had independent financial means to pay for them, Ms. Owens is entitled to the services of an investigator at the state's expense. It's weird that they would say investigator specifically instead of the expert. I don't know about the investigator's part, but okay.
Oh, because they always have private investigators that go out and look at stuff and investigate things.
That's true.
To ask questions and to meet with people and stuff like that.
That's true.
You're always going to have that for the defense.
That is true. That's a fair point. Courts should interpret statutes and rules providing for investigatory and expert services in a fashion consistent with their remedial purpose, placing indigent defendants on a footing closer to that of the prosecutors, who have resources of the government at their disposal. Yes. In this case, the prosecution has utilized investigators from the Maricopa County Attorney's Office and additional expert witnesses to establish its case against Ms. Owens. It would be manifestly unfair to deny the defendant the services of an investigator and other necessary experts on her behalf under these circumstances. Again, if she had a public defender, we wouldn't take issue with any of this, but okay. The defendant is eligible for court appointed assistance because she is indigent, even though her family has the resources to retain counsel. Oh, okay. The defendant is similarly situated to the defendant in Nat v. Hardy from 1974, whose family was able to retain private counsel for him, but who was himself indigent. There, the Arizona Supreme Court stated the mother in the instant case had no legal obligation to provide legal counsel for the defendant, and the determination of indigency must be based on his financial condition and not that of relatives and friends. So that was granted in another case. But also, at the very beginning, her lawyer points out that she spent all of her savings and assets on all these other bullshit criminal or bullshit court cases. So, and can't she get a job? I'm just wondering here why she's not working.
Do you think minimum wage is going to pay for her attorney?
I'm just saying, I don't know.
I know. I'm just saying.
So they're using the argument that it's her parents paying for this attorney, which I don't know if they said anything in their bankruptcy about this. Pretty sure the government would not be happy about it. So I personally don't know. We haven't gotten huge into the bankruptcy thing, so I'm not sure if it's listed on there, but I don't think it is because I haven't seen anybody talking about it like in the Discord or other things like that. So somebody can absolutely correct me if I'm wrong. And also, it doesn't say what kind of case this is. If the guy himself, the defendant, had medical conditions, mental health conditions that made it impossible for him to work. Was this a murder? What kind of case was it? Because I think those things are probably taken into consideration as well. So, Laura Owens, look who showed up. They're too hard for us to understand.
My lies are too hard for you guys to understand.
We're so stupid. We love you, Laura Owens. We love you. So the defendant is not asking this court for appointed counsel yet. It will come, promise. The fact that her family was able to take on the burden of paying for private counsel suggests only that their efforts are saving the county the expense of providing her with a public defender. Didn't she start out with, no, if I remember from the timeline I've heard, she gets charged in May with the 7 counts from Clayton, and she hires private counsel, and then she gets 7 more charges in November with Greg, and they merge them together. And then does she go private counsel, public defender, private counsel, or does it go public defender? Well, first private counsel for Clayton, but then public defender, private counsel, I think is when they up the charges to 14. Is that what happened, guys? I think so.
It's probably going to bounce him back and forth at least for the next year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely. The fact that I already read that. I'm sorry. And it in no way detracts from defendant's ability to access the full range of resources that would be available to her with other indigent defendants. This is especially true where, as here, a defendant has been charged with serious offenses in which the investigation of the charges and, thank you, text packet. Thank you. Is especially true whereas here a defendant has been charged with serious offenses in which the investigation of the charges and possible defenses require the assistance of an investigator and expert, and where the denial of such services would be prejudicial to the client and a violation of her due process and equal protection rights. For the foregoing reasons, defendant hereby respectfully requests this court issue its orders declaring her indigent and eligible for court-appointed assistance in the preparation of her defense. All right, so that is the end of that document. Let's have a little bit of a discussion before we go to anything else. So first of all, how do you feel about it, Buff? It's a lot in 8 pages, isn't it?
He's a lot more succinct than Jingris. Well, I appreciate you. I don't think you're doing her more favors. I don't know who proofread that first or like check the facts on that, because I don't think that's going to help her. I think Jennifer, Queen Jennifer, is going to jump all over that if she hasn't already.
This is so I mean, I don't know, right? We're just 2 girls who watch trials for funsies and have microphones, so we're not gonna pretend we know anything. But we have watched a lot of things and the whole process from beginning to end. And this is not good. So I saw that I think it was Mary said, so for the financial affidavit, like that is under oath as well. So if that one contains information that the federal government does, we're running into some problems here with your finances. First and foremost, yikes.
I thought this was going to be a problem running the bankruptcy case simultaneously. It wouldn't have been a problem if they weren't going to ask for anything from the state to begin with, right?
Yeah.
But it would still be a problem because you're funding this investigation and your representation at the same time as filing for bankruptcy. I was wondering how they were pulling that off, because you can't have money to pay this and also say you don't have money over here. How does that work?
Yeah. I don't know. This is, in my opinion, it doesn't sound, I would be shitting bricks. I can't believe people would lie. Like, you don't want the feds in your life with money, first and foremost. All right. And now you have 14 felony charges, 4 for perjury. I don't remember the exact number for fraud. And this sounds very not great for that case, in my opinion. But okay. So last night, I went to go lay in bed as we were watching Big Brother, and I saw people were like talking about, I was like, what are they talking about? And then somebody was like, oh, like, so what does this mean for trial wise? And my opinions last night before this came out was, one, yes, sure, this could be used as a delay tactic, sure. But I mean, it's also, again, this filing does not surprise me one bit at all. We talked about this last week with the other hearing. We were expecting more things to be filed in court, because what surprised us was the lack of filings in this case, because there's not very many for a case that's been
I believe
since
I brought that
November.
up. I was like, there has been nothing filed. Like, there should be a fast and furious motions. We're getting on trial date. I don't think that's going to happen. It should actually, we should start seeing more, right? Right now, because they're filing for money. You're going to see continuance or a motion for more time. I guarantee you're going to see for money for a new attorney. You're going to see a lot of stuff. And then motions in limine and all that. You're going to get a witness list, all that stuff.
All normal stuff. But this makes me feel a few things. We'll see which ones happen. I don't know. One, trial. So first with the plea deal. Let's start with the plea deal, right? Because they had till like the end of August, they pushed the settlement conference too. I would think that if they're asking the court, first and foremost, for money for experts, 2 things. One, she's not taking the plea deal. They're probably going to ask her before giving her money for this when a deal is on the table. Like, they're going to want a concrete yes or no. Yes or no, are you taking this? Because this is going to cost a pretty penny, first and foremost.
She probably already told them no. It sounded like that's how the court took it at that conference. Because he asked him, are you putting in your statement or whether today? And like they said no. And then there was nothing else at the follow-up. And it sounded like they set a trial date. She can always plea anytime.
Absolutely.
But she won't get the same deal.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the state does pull it and be like, never mind. I guess we're going to trial. You can plead guilty if you want to at any point in time, but the deal is off the table.
That's what I would do. I hold her ass fire.
I agree. I do think that's
especially
exactly what's going to happen.
If you've already paid all these experts. Like, she's going to start like draining the state. Like, say they go, okay, here, we'll give you all the money for your investigators, for your mitigation experts, for your forensic expert. And then all of a sudden, okay, I'll take the plea deal. And be like,
yeah, no.
There's no plea deal. No, once you've already drained the state, in my opinion, for all these monies for your investigators, that shit is off the table.
Absolutely. I agree. I do think that will be the state's position on this. Because again, they can take it away right now if they want to. Doesn't matter. They can't do really, much about it. But I would think that's probably going to be the case. Also, this leads me to believe that trial is very much on the table. Now, sure, of course, they want to look over stuff before taking a plea deal. Her lawyer said as much, which I agree with, right? Know what the evidence is before you take a plea deal. Absolutely. But asking for these resources while she's paying a private attorney, I don't think is going to be great. I don't know. I don't know how the judge is going to rule on this. I really have no idea. I've never seen it, so I don't know.
I don't know how Arizona courts are. I feel like they're a little bit strict, right? They seem a little hardcore compared to some courts.
Yeah.
I guess it really is dependent on the judge, and I just feel like lawyers know their judges of whether or not this judge is even going to look at it.
Oh yeah. Well, so that leads me to my other. Okay, so first,
he's going to do it anyway, even if the judge does. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep interrupted, but he's going to do it anyway because he's got to zealously advocate for his client no matter what.
Exactly.
Even if he knows that the judge is going to say no, he's got to ask anyway.
Exactly. That is effective counsel. So he is just doing his job, but I wonder if her lawyer, if Looters, knows about her financial shit with the government, because that is going to cause something. You remember how Corey Keith did a notice of candor right before Clayton's trial, being like, sorry, I didn't know my client was a fucking liar, but she is. I didn't know she was. I had no idea, but I just want the record known. Are we going to see another candor in a few months or whenever? Because I don't think no lawyer is going to risk their fucking ass in criminal court for Laura fucking Owens.
One lawyer might. You already did.
But
no lawyer. There's someone out there who did.
That's true. That's true. But I bet you every single lawyer in that area.
Good lawyer. No good lawyer.
That's true. So I think it signifies to me that she's looking to she doesn't want to take this plea deal. She wants to go to trial. Whether or not that's a good idea, I mean, I don't know, but I want it. So fine, let's go, girl.
I want it.
Now, if she's granted experts, I do too. If she's granted experts, there is not going to be a trial this year at all. I can tell you that right now. You're looking at maybe February or March next year. If experts are granted with that amount of evidence, time to look over it, reports, just for digital forensics alone, it's going to be like 3 to 6 months at least, I'm sure. So
do they have to go? Sorry, I just talk. I'm a little.
We're here to talk about it, Buffy.
I know, but I feel like interrupt because if I don't say it, it's going to leave my brain.
Yeah.
If she runs out of money, like, okay, say they give the investigator, it's granted, and she gets the money for the investigations for like the forensic investigator and the mitigator and stuff like that, and it's 4 terabytes, and they run out of whatever funds that the state allows. Do you ask for more, or they don't just get to like get indefinite funds, right? You get a certain amount, I would think.
I think what I've seen in any legal person in chat, we have a lot of chat going on right now. We'll get to eventually, but if you know the answer and you're a legal person, please put it in there. So, my foot could be in my mouth for all I know. But like they ask for approval, right? And then I think there's like a list of people they can use. Like you can't go out if the judge is granting you money because you're poor for an expert, you can't go hire the most top of the line expert in the field. That's not how that works. I don't know if
Okay,
she
so
knows that,
you have to
but
shop the clearance rack. Gotcha.
well, I know, because I don't want to disrespect the experts at all that are on that list. I'm just saying, I
No, but they're not
believe it's
paying
more
for this. You get this one.
right, because
It's one
they're
they can
not
afford.
exactly right. The government is not. They do not have to give you the best of the
I
best.
didn't say
They
they were
have
bad. You just have the lower priced ones.
they have to give you adequate. All right. So I don't know how she's gonna enjoy that, but at least that's what I've seen in my experience there. But either way, there's no trial happening this year, y'all. If I'm wrong, that's fine, but I don't think I am. Hell,
I have
even
found amazing outfits on the clearance rack, so it's no dig to the clearance rack.
no.
I'm
No,
just
no,
saying
no.
you have to shop in the section that you
But
can.
I think so. You ask for it, they say okay, then you have to come back with who the expert is. You got to say what the expert's covering, how much it's going to cost, and then the court has
You
to
gotta bring
approve that
receipts.
again. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's how that process works. But I know that like if you're going for the top one, it ain't happening. Okay. You're going to get aperture results and
That's
cost
true.
$400,000 for their bullshit.
Well, he was they were terrible, and they spent a lot of money on that guy.
Yeah. So those are my thoughts on that. Now so I have another thought. I think that Looters is doing this as a courtesy for her future public defender, is what I think is happening. Right? He is on retainer, he could file stuff, but to me, this sounds like I don't really know if I'm going to be on this case anymore. I understand his client doesn't have money, but this is the time where you would ask for these things because it is a long process. This is not, I know people say this is a delay tactic, but when it is your right to have this, and granted she is a private attorney, but it wouldn't surprise me though if this is like, all right, well, I got to get the ball going anyway. So, right, she can't file one of her lovely bar complaints that she files against every single lawyer except for David Gingras that's been in the story we've covered. But it is a job. But I feel like, okay. So I think he's nervous too about the monies, for sure. And then what was the other thing that last night that I said?
You mean monies as far as how he's going to get paid?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'd be real fucking nervous. And then if he found out that that's what she told the federal government, he might just withdraw from the case, period. And be like, no, absolutely not. I do not, because he's a private, he can drop her if he wants to. I mean, the court has to approve it, but usually that's fine. Go ahead. And then she'll get a public defender and then that'll delay it. What I'm saying is that even if she had a public defender right now, this is exactly what the public defender would be doing, is asking for experts.
Yeah.
So is it a delay tactic? I don't know.
I think this is part of the process.
It's part of the process. And as Tur says down here, I bet this time next year we'll be talking about this still not going to trial. It's a possibility, in my opinion. I know that there's the whole speedy trial rights are a little bit different than in Arizona, but by them filing this and say we need an expert is basically waiving that right pretty much, because they know it's going to take time. There is no way you can hire an expert and be ready for a trial in 3 weeks. Adequate representation anyway. So those are some of my thoughts on that. But hi, Stringer Bell. Will the state respond to this? Probably. But I don't know. I think they're probably going to have a problem with her. What are they going to argue? That she has private counsel already?
Private counsel.
I mean, that's probably
they could, but
I don't know if it'll be anything like too crazy. It'll probably just be on the record, like, or could this? That's a good question. Could the state go talk to the feds real quick and be like, "Yo, this is what she just said," to call her lying ass out in front of the judge?
It's possible.
Like, look, Your
We'll go
Honor, here we
live as soon
go.
as we get the response.
I don't know. I don't know what it's going to look. Honestly, I haven't seen this before, right? So if this was a public defender filing this, asking for this, no, the state's not going to say anything
No.
because it might be like, well, we don't have an expert for X, so they don't need an expert for X, or you know what I mean? It's not going to be
Okay.
like super arguing
Yeah,
about
but I
this.
don't
Just
think they're asking for a ridiculous amount of experts either.
no.
It sounds like they want a forensic expert. They want an investigator, which makes sense. And they want a mitigation, which if she's found guilty, she's going to need.
Oh, thank you for the research on that case, Mary. About Knapp. He was not working because he's in police custody and being actively interrogated following a catastrophic house fire. I mean, they could grant. I don't know if the judge is going to grant this or not. I just
I
have
don't
never
know either.
particularly
I feel-
seen that, but okay.
I don't know because, like, I can see why he wouldn't. But I also feel like that's like a violation of rights with your right to a fair trial. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the Supreme Court did say in the excerpt we read, right? Like it should almost always be granted because we're talking about constitutional rights here, you know, the ones that you
Yeah.
really don't want to fuck up while the case is happening because that's where the appeals get granted.
I will say you don't want this to get thrown out on appeals because they violated her constitutional rights because they didn't give her the experts she needed to be able to fight the state because the state has the burden of proof. This is why the defendants have to have it because the state has to prove their case. Like, and you're entitled to a defense to the state.
Right. And the Knapp case that they cited, so the guy was in prison, or I'm sorry, jail for this catastrophic house fire. So he couldn't work because he was in jail. All right. You know, because apparently it sounds to me like the parents paid the lawyer, but they didn't pay his bail to get out. And because he cannot work because he was in jail, then it was granted. So what's Laura doing? Just living her ass in the casita, doing nothing, I think is going to be an issue as well.
She can go work at Barry's Boot World.
Barry's Boot World.
I know it's Barry's Boot Camp.
Oh,
I'm being disrespectful.
Hi, Liz. Hi. I know we're here on the weekend. Isn't it crazy, guys? But as you could see, this is why we need to talk about this because this is wild. This is very, very wild to me.
I can't wait for a response if there is one.
Yeah. I think there will be I think they'll point out because remember, the state does represent the people of Arizona. So they do have a duty to the people of Arizona to also, you know, do their job.
Now they requested the affidavit to be under seal, or it is already under seal.
It looked to me on the thing that it was requested. Oh, let me scroll back up here. Where's that little footnote? It said, a financial affidavit will be provided to the court under seal, which will establish Ms. Owens' indigency and eligibility for court appointed. So they're going to provide it, but it'll be under seal. But again, you sign that paper saying it's under penalty of perjury as well. Everyone signs one. Like if you're poor, you're in jail, you need a public defender, you signing that financial thing saying you're too broke, that is under penalty of perjury. Oh man, I messed up my comment things over here. Hold on. Sorry.
I wonder what they have to provide to the federal court to get the federal courts involved. I know you have to make like a request, and that usually takes forever to get for the federal to work with the state.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I think based on that line about her having income before and then not, ooh, if the state wanted to, they could call up Queen Jennifer. There's nothing stopping the state from doing that and being like, yo.
I do think there are requests that have to be made. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Like,
they can't just talk on the phone about it. Right?
There's got to be paperwork. Literally call her. No. There's got to be like there's the actual
But I don't know. I do wonder what Queen Jennifer will do with this information. I don't know. I know zippy zap about bankruptcy and bankruptcy
I
court.
don't have enough
But
money to have those kind of money.
we don't got that pony money unless we're buying them at auction for $100. Then we got pony money. Will she be housed with Jody Aries? Probably not. Well, I don't know. It depends what level Jody is now. She's been in there for a while, so she might be in lower general pop because that's how that goes. Like you can have murders. Their severity risk level goes down the longer they're in, and then they get more freedoms and stuff as they move down the security level threats. And Jody's probably down pretty far. It's been a while, so
I can see them starting a podcast together.
Oh my God, that'd be so funny. I can't imagine how crazy that we would review that shit every day. Be like, what? So let's see, where was I in these comments here? I'm sorry. They scrolled all over the place and now I don't know. So I'm sorry if you guys have asked questions. If you want, you can ask them again if you think I've missed them. And I'm sorry if we did. So that was the Jody Aries one. Interesting how long it took her current lawyer to file this. Agreed, Bruce. Agreed, because he's been on since March.
I think he was still trying to talk her into taking the plea deal. And during the last conference, I think it was pretty much decided at that point that she was not going to take it. And so he had to do the next step, was like, all right, I guess we need to start
do my
getting the ball
job.
rolling.
That's
to get
what I
prepared
think.
for court. Because you can't just not, like, there's a court there, it's coming if you don't take the plea deal or don't just plead.
Exactly. That's what I think all of this means. We don't know. We're not there in the rooms or the back, judge quarters conversations, but
Yeah, this is just speculation on our part.
Pure speculation, but it makes a lot of sense. So, hello, Tony. Happy Catter Day, everybody. I know, right? It's not very often that we're on here, which, by the way, Buff, the feeds are still up. I don't think they played Veto yet. Sorry, I'm not listening to them, but
Well, Veto usually takes a couple of hours.
I know, but I thought they'd start while we were on. I called the Big Brother house and everything and said, excuse me.
You told them we were going live and then you just go ahead and get it started?
Yes, please. Buffy and I's schedule is very important. So can you get them to play the Veto now? And apparently they didn't listen. They're just like, And we're like, hello, we are arguably famous, in case you didn't know that.
Well, that was a callback.
How did Laura afford a new car? She's so broke. Right?
Is it a new car or is it a new to her car?
I don't remember what it was newer, like by 2 years probably. I know it was 20s. Okay. I just don't recall off the top of my head. But still, hell, have you seen the price of used cars?
I have.
They're the price of old new cars.
Newer cars are even more expensive. Trust me, I know. I have a new, to me, used car, and we are paying a lot is money.
New cars are like the price of what a house used to be 10 years ago. Like it's crazy.
That is true.
But I know it was in the 20s, like in the last 6 years. I just can't recall.
Like my car note is almost as high as my house note.
Thank you, Kelly, for gifting a membership. I don't know who that went to because it was so far back, but congratulations to whoever got that gifted membership. We have lots of member-only content that you can watch when we're not around this weekend. Or you can join the Courtyard Discord server and watch Big Brother with us because that's where we are and will be whenever we're not live because we're kind of obsessed with it. This is how dedicated we are to this case that we're willing to go live right now while the feeds are on. But, what are you going to do? So, yeah, they'll absolutely make her sign something without a doubt. If the feds find out mom and dad had anything to do with paying this attorney, they could claw the money back. Like I have so many questions about that, but I don't know like how that works, but I would think so as well. Again, this is not a cheap lawyer based on what I've read about this lawyer.
I
Gotta
don't
learn
think there's
criminal
any such
lawyers aren't
thing.
cheap. Right,
I
exactly.
was like, is there such
Nah.
thing as a cheap lawyer?
I don't know how much they would have had to put down on a retainer, but it was at least several tens of thousands of dollars, at least $20,000. And I think that's pretty low. I would say at least for the retainer, which is gone, in like 2 months, if that.
It's true.
So, that's the other thing too, is like, well, okay, you had money for this to keep him on, but then you can't pay for the mortgage of your house, and it's not great, I feel. But I don't know. I don't know. Am I logicking? I know. I know.
We don't do
Silly,
that
silly
here.
me. But here's the thing so normally we cover like criminal court cases and
Criminal
trials, right?
crimes.
Criminal crimes is what we usually like to
We're
cover here.
going to abuse the shit out of that phrase.
Yeah, we are. Thanks, Reckless Ben. We love it. We love it. And so really, we've learned a lot with civil cases covering Laura, right? Because most of it was in civil or family court. I'll say this: the criminal courts have very specific things that have to be done by certain times, certain rules, certain rights. They also do not like being fucked with at all. So this is not going to be like a lot, in case any of you are new and have never actually like watched a criminal crime trial. She's going to try to delay stuff. Of course she is. Every defendant does, because the more time you have, more things can happen, right? New evidence can come. Witnesses could die or become unavailable. There's a lot of
Time
reasons.
only benefits the defendant.
That is true, as long as they don't fuck up while they're waiting for that trial. So, I mean, that's all pretty usual. I know we hate it. And, this isn't like it's not a murder trial, true, but the rules still apply. They might give extra niceties to murder trials, obviously, because those are pretty, the most serious of crimes. But, every defendant does have certain entitlements. And that's a good thing, as I said. The prosecution said the deal was off the table last case status conference. Well, I don't. Did they actually say that though? Because it was confusing. I'm not saying you're wrong, but because they have a settlement conference scheduled for August 25th, I want to say, sometime that week.
I think what was asked was that they needed more time to go through stuff.
The defense did. Yeah, that is what he said.
And
So
that's why it got pushed out again. I expect that she's not taking it, which is why we see this motion.
agreed. Because her lawyer wouldn't waste the court's time. I mean, yes, he's doing what he should as his job, filing what he should as his job, but he's also, people, I don't know if people realize this, but like the courts, like this is their place of work, right?
Well,
like, yes, they all
here's
have
what-
their own offices, but like these are their coworkers, that judge, that prosecutor, like they're technically kind of like coworkers, right? So,
But would they ask for experts to do the forensics and the investigation and the mitigation if they were taking the plea deal, at least the mitigation, so that they could ask for like mitigating circumstances at sentencing, even if she
at sentencing?
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's what
but-
mitigation is, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But I guess but this plea deal would be already sentencing agreed to. So
No, because
that
because the judge has a lot of leeway because of the plea deal. That's what made
that's true.
so
That's why you guys are
confusing.
mitigating.
So
Well,
yes,
yeah, he does. He's got a big span. That's right.
but whether the plea deal or she goes to trial and is found guilty, you need him for both things. So that could just be preparation in the long run. I don't know if that request signifies either way.
Right. She's
because
gonna
they would
need a mitigation expert anyway, is what you're saying.
which, I don't normally see them getting mitigation experts in cases we've covered. So that also makes me wonder, like, because remember in the last conference hearing they had or whatever it was called, her lawyer said something about basically they have her dead to rights on perjury. He
Yes,
literally said
which
that
is
out
why
loud.
I don't understand why
So
we're going to continue to lie in the
Yeah.
very next motion you file.
yeah. Yeah. So I don't know with that request. It could be for either one. And again, I don't think it's that outlandish. But the one I do find is what did they ask for? Oh, the investigator. But no, never mind. I was thinking it was something else. I cleared that up. Never mind. Let's see. How could she finance a crime? Let's see what we're going here. Maybe the Airbnb was under Liz Max. She said her mom owned that and it was basically repossessed. Right, but her mom owning stuff and having money does not make what she said about not having a job. Like it doesn't compute. So I don't know, but I'm excited about it. This is definitely going to find its way one way or another about her bankruptcy hearing. I imagine the state may have it written down somewhere. I doubt the state has really looked into all of that. But
I can't wait.
yeah. Let's see. Did someone say they're drinking Boone's Fire today? No, but I'll probably need a pour a drink here soon. My goodness. I wonder what snack she'll request for trial. I don't know. Put
Did she eat?
wrong answers only. That's true, right? Yikes.
Oh, that was kind of mean. Sorry, bad Buffy.
Bad Buffy, but that's okay. He must know about it. He showed up to her bankruptcy. This lawyer did? Or the state attorney did? Ooh. Still be more seen than Laura. Yeah, so I don't Ooh, I don't know. I can tell you this. I don't think she's taking the plea deal.
I don't think
I can
so
tell you
either.
my opinion. I don't believe she's taking the plea deal. I believe she's going to try to take it to trial. She might think, oh, maybe they'll do another negotiation with me. Maybe the
I think she's
prosecution
gonna push
might
it.
right before, but
No,
she wants to keep kicking the can. I would be surprised if that isn't the case. Again, though, she can plead guilty anytime she wants. And when they were going over the vague details of the plea deal, when we were listening to that night, both of us were just kind of like, you like might as well
who
take it to
agreed?
trial. Yeah, it wasn't like should she take? Yes, it's better than probably going to trial, but
No,
also
I
it's the
would
same risk
never
either
take
way.
that.
Yeah,
No,
it
I
wasn't
would
great.
never. If that was the
It's
plea
very
deal,
vague.
I'm telling you from my perspective.
Right.
If what I would do, I would say, nah, take me to court. I want my chance in front of 12 because that gives way too many. No, because I'd rather take the chance that somebody on that jury says, because they're not going to look. If one juror says that she is not guilty and they don't sign off on that, it's going to go to a mistrial. And I don't see the prosecutor taking it back to trial.
I think they'll offer a plea deal. They'll do that first before they decide if they want to go to trial. Well, no, because they would have to re-say that and then offer her the plea deal. That's right. But yeah, that's true. She goes to trial. Only one person they have to convince. Now, what are the odds of that? Probably not a lot, but we also don't know what all they know.
But people are weird.
That's true. People, yes, absolutely. We have witnessed that before where we're like, we like watched all of this, the same thing as you guys. Like, what? But yeah, it happens. They'll give them a budget and the lawyer will work with that. Okay, thank you, Becca, regarding the expert. Excuse me. Yeah, you can't just go hire and like nobody. Yeah, there's no trial this year. No way. Absolutely not. Not happening. Tony says, OMG, I wake up to a voicemail and it shows the voicemail and text where you can listen to it. And the first thing it says is, hi, this is Kylie Owens. And I was like, oh shit, they found me.
It's funny because Owen is my son's name. So it is kind of whenever we talk about this, I always like, told my husband last night, I said we should have picked something else because now I can't do, like, it's so hard.
Yeah. South Florida Thrifter says, I promise y'all there is one reason she is doing this. Ooh, what's the one reason? Is it so? Oh, I just had a thought of what. So another reason we've said I don't think she's taking the plea deal because then she has to admit that she lied. She can't do it. She'd lose face on everything the whole time. And if she goes to trial and a jury finds her guilty, guess what? She can still play the same victim card, even though it doesn't make sense to the rest of us. She will absolutely do that. Oh, the jurors conspired against me. I'm still innocent. I've never done anything. The state had it out for me. And that's what she's going to do. That's what she literally always does.
Do we think
So-
we're going to blog post after this?
That llama called me a dumb bitch because I was poor.
No,
No.
we didn't. We called you a dumb bitch for other reasons, though.
Just 'cause you are. It has
Because
nothing-
you were poor.
Oh, well, that's right. Also, you're not poor. So it's
Well, we're
fine.
not really sure because there's
It's
so much
fine.
conflicting information. You either had a good job with lots of income or you live off mom and dad. Even you can't decide which part of that is true
Yeah.
or not.
Oh, Michelle, that's true, right? On Sarah Sarah Boone's trial, they had a money limit for expenses. She got $10K for experts investigators. Yeah, it's not a very, I mean, it's a large number for a lot of us, right? $10K is a lot of money. But in the world of experts,
I was about to say it's not a lot.
no, it is not. It is absolutely not. Because then if they got to come in to testify, that's usually a couple $1,000s just coming to
Yeah.
testify. So, but
It
you're right.
costs like hundreds of dollars an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. She's not going to be happy about that. But hey, girl, you got yourself in this. So,
Not to mention how much time it's going to take to go through that data.
Dan Montana says this should have been done before the first deadline to accept the plea. A lot of filings should have been done. And I think both sides really thought she was going to take the plea deal because.
But wait, why would it have been done before the first deadline to accept the plea? If we don't know whether, I don't understand.
I think well, I don't want to speak for Dan Montana, but I meant like as soon as he came on, there should have been stuff started to be filed regardless, including this. But it's just interesting to, I guess, keep the ball rolling. I would think, but I don't know.
I guess
It's
I just
interesting.
thought maybe he was really hoping that she would. Maybe it sounded like she was going to take it at some point during a conversation. I mean, I could see her being back and forth. She liked to jerk.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. She did that with every single attorney she's had. So I'm not giving looters too much, harsh critiquing at
I
the
am.
moment.
'Cause
I think
that
this
was
is a little
not a
outlandish,
good
but
motion.
wasn't great.
It wasn't
but
well thought out before it was printed.
What did Woodnick call her to Corey Keith? He was like, your client. Oh, fuck. He had a name for something, handling your client. No, I don't remember what it was. It's very funny. We all know she's a pain in the ass to represent.
I know
And that's
what you're
why
talking about, but
too,
I can't remember.
I think he's just filing some things because he's going to be out of there in a few months. Bet. Even if she
go
keeps
ahead
him
and
on
get
for
the
9
podcast
months,
started.
she could drop and get a public defender, and that's going to push it as well. We've seen cases where people have anywhere between 7 to 9 lawyers before the judge is like, either client control issues. Thank you, Sheebs, for the win. Client control
Coming in
issues.
clutch.
We've seen them where they've had a carousel of 7 to 9 defendants before the judge is like, okay, well, then you're representing yourself or you're going to go pay for your own lawyer. So she still has a few, seats on this carousel before the judge is probably going to lay the law down. And if she keeps doing it, get the mitigator all you want. All right. But if she fucks around during all of this, judge isn't going to give a fuck. Because they really don't like when you use and abuse the system like that. Right.
Well, it's all she knows how to do. It's all she's done.
Yeah. Let's see. The state doesn't really have to respond. No, I don't think they would. I could see them doing it.
I want them
And
to.
if they do, I don't think it'll be super, spicy, but maybe it will be.
Okay.
I don't know. I hope so.
But
Manifesting it.
I like document ping pong, motion ping pong. Like
Yeah,
the
there
Karen
hasn't been
Reed
any.
motions that are going back and forth right now. Fascinating. So
Mhm.
fascinating. And with the judge, oh, like these people that you want to talk about some documents that'll make you throw something at the wall? Promise you.
Mhm. Mhm. Jupiter Janes, hey girl, says I feel like the state knows she's screwed anyways and will allow it to prevent an appeal and give her a fair chance. Agreed. I do. I
That
mean,
would
yeah,
be
they're
smart.
yeah. Now again, I've never seen somebody that's had a private lawyer ask for this. In our experience watching things, it probably happens often. Maybe I don't know. I have no idea. But they are first and foremost going to make sure that she gets what she needs. Now, she can't go asking for any expert she wants, like about anything. Like that, it's going to be a very limited scope, right? She can't ask
Yeah, I
for like
just
4 digital forensic experts because she doesn't like the first one, and that's going to probably piss her off too, right? Because
because
I
she
think
doesn't like what they find.
yes, absolutely, right? Because let's say they hire a digital expert, right? As I said earlier, these experts are also working to inform the lawyer, right?
Mhm.
To help the lawyer understand the case because most lawyers are not experts in digital forensics and there aren't that many Robert Alessis around, whom I love, who gets very knowledgeable and wants to learn everything. And I'm not saying other lawyers don't want to learn stuff, but they're busy, all right? They
No,
got
but they
lots of
also tell
cases.
them what questions to ask
Right.
the other side's experts during cross-examination. Like
Yeah.
they have to help them there.
There could be stuff that was wrong. There could be stuff that didn't get certain
can be
information
interpreted.
or can be
Yeah.
interpreted, right? It's not going to prove that all of this was because Greg the hacker at all. And it may not even be super beneficial to her being not guilty. It's going to provide a possible pathway to defense. And again, they already know that this case isn't good. Her lawyer already knows that. He already conceded as such. This is not going to be trying to get Laura completely not guilty, innocent. It's going to make sure she's represented correctly, as all defendants deserve to have, and maybe convince one person. But there's no way this guy is like, oh, she's factually innocent of everything. No, he literally said she's fucked when it comes to those perjury charges, Your Honor. I get it. So, wouldn't be surprised if Maricopa County shuts this down because it's expensive and messy. I don't know how they're going to respond. I'm looking forward to it. I'll tell you that. The state might mention the federal testimony in their response. I think that's what I'm hoping on, quite frankly. Hey, babe, will you open the window because it's raining? Thank you.
It's raining here too.
Yeah, it just sounds like rain. Yeah, it's definitely raining. There's no sunshine.
just
So it's
so far
Ohio.
away.
So I'm
We're
like, oh, there's
sharing
no
rain.
sun. I know. Becca says a public defender wouldn't be asking because they have a budget through with the public defender's office. You don't think they would still at least ask for the digital forensic? I don't think they would ask for the mitigator or the investigator, right? But I could see them at least asking for the digital forensic expert. Out of the 3, I feel like because the state's going to have theirs, right? So like the state can't just go up and be like, "Yep, here's all this stuff," right? They need somebody to like validate all the evidence and all of those things. You don't think they would, Becca? Interesting. I mean, nobody knows who. This is all speculation. Who knows? That's the interesting thing about court, criminal crimes court, and other courts and trials is you literally don't know anything until something is filed, till they're sitting in the courtroom, because every jurisdiction is so much different than the other one, that like even the same one, right? We watched Lori Daybell's uh Arizona, both her Arizona cases. That was Maricopa County, if I remember. Yeah. Phoenix, Chandler, Arizona. It's right there. So
It's really the judge that you get.
yeah, anything could happen. And I think any lawyer would absolutely say, yeah, you just don't know. until something is finally ordered or decided upon. But speculation is fun. I enjoy speculation. So she's traveling. Oh, Minnie. She's traveling, got this lawyer a new car, but has no money, right? How's she going to justify having a new car? She doesn't have a job to go to.
It's
I
so
think
she
they
can
will
go
have
back and
questions
forth
with
to
it.
court. It's something to live out of.
She doesn't even want to go to court. She wants to go travel.
She might need to live out of her car.
Tony says, even if she doesn't get rid of her lawyer, but what experts are they going to hire? Some psychiatrists to give mental health reasons why Laura fakes pregnancies and extorts men. I don't know if they'll approve a medical expert, to be quite honest. I don't know. It's whatever the judge decides she thinks she needs, but I wouldn't put money on the medical side of things. That would be the mitigation, I guess. But even then, so what? There's autistic people in prison. There absolutely are autistic people in prison. That her getting mental, it's not going to help anything unless you are legally insane at the time, which she's not. They don't give a shit. All right. They send people to prison no matter what's wrong with them a lot of the times, unless they are very, very old and it would cost more to keep them in prison and pay their medical bills. That hardly ever happens. But they don't care. You're not that special, Laura. You're not that special at all. They'll send your ass to jail whether you have autism or not. They don't care. So Bruce says in the first indigency filing, they asked for 4 different experts: an investigator, computer, forensics, video, and a medical doctor. I don't know if they're going to approve all 4 of those. I don't know about that. I understand they asked for that, but ooh, that's interesting. Why the video? Oh, probably the bump videos, maybe. But wouldn't that be a digital forensic investigator, or is that a separate category? Ooh.
Maybe for the ultrasound.
Now the medical doctor, I would say mental health medical doctor, maybe not. An OBGYN, pregnancy doctor? Could be. Yeah, sure. Good luck trying to find another Dr. Mitchell out there, but okay. Because
What if they
also,
bring back Dr. Mitchell?
I doubt. Oh my God. I no way would. Surely her lawyer would never. Because also,
Well, it's probably the only person they could find.
yeah, but in criminal court, experts have also a very different level than in the civil courts. That you got to do voir dire. The judge has to approve that person as an expert. So I don't know. But I guess they could go for like an OBGYN or, the state's probably going to have one now that I think about it. Absolutely. Especially if there's men on the jury. No offense, men. You don't ever go to one, right? So they're going to need to bring an OBGYN to be like, this is not how this happens. This is the standard care that an expecting mother would do. This is the pregnancy timeline. It may seem like remedial stuff, but it doesn't matter. They will present that now that I think about it. So they probably would allow the state their own. Would they find one? I don't know.
Can't wait to see how they present this case.
I know. Interesting. They didn't, so they asked for an investigator the first time. Okay. Computer, forensics, video, and medical doctor. Okay. All right. You can't see the judge not granting this. I agree. I agree with
Civil
you.
rights issue.
Yeah, on that basis.
Rights.
But I've never seen in my knowledge of things, just somebody that has a lawyer and asking for this kind of stuff that I don't, like I said, if this was a public defender, probably grant. Wait a second, Bruce, you said the first indigency filing, was she approved or not approved? When was this? We haven't
I
gotten
don't
to this
know.
part in our timeline yet. That's why I'm asking.
It's in our chat.
I'm just not there yet. I'm sorry, guys. I'm way behind.
No. It's in our chat and our DMs on Discord.
Oh, I don't have that pulled up right now.
Yeah, they sent us the link to the old
Oh
one.
gosh, everybody's so helpful. Maybe if you had it pulled up, Llama, with all
It's
the
in our
other
private DMs.
Brazilian.
In our group chat.
Okay. Oh, that's not the right one. What are you talking about? Oh, the link for that. Oh, I see what you're talking about. I was expecting like a writing.
What are you talking about?
thing.
Trying to make me sound crazy.
Well, you know. There's that. Oh no, it's Volo. Why do you hate me so much?
I know
Right.
it's a Volo link.
That's okay. We'll look into it. Just let me know in the chat. Couldn't the feds take over this since there are multiple states involved? No. Those would be for different charges. These are for Arizona charges only. What investigators are they going to hire? Someone to go around and dig up dirt to make all the victim probable. Hey, not all experts, okay, are out to lie, cheat, and scam. We've had counter DNA experts who say the same thing as the states. All right. An expert in a criminal case should not show any bias. Now, do they do some? Yes, absolutely. But remember, so can the states. All right. As a matter of fact, I would contend to argue that it could be possibly more beneficial for state experts to be more biased, to give the appropriate answers because they are on a list and they'll be asked again by the state. It's like free money from the state. So they actually have more of a, dog in the fight. Now, not many experts are like that, right? Because their reputation is on the line. Because they will ask every single expert, how many times have you served as an expert in court? It's a whole thing. So even to go up for either side and come off as very biased and all of that, you don't want to do, because if you want to be an expert, because it follows you from case to case. So I don't want to go with they're going to find people. I think that too, Laura, when they hire experts and they give Laura the cold hard truth of what she's facing and what they have, I don't know how she's going to handle that. Is she going to believe them, not believe? I don't know. So I don't think we're going to find another Dr. Medchill in these circumstances. Again, we're talking about criminal court, where even the experts could face things like contempt and all of like perjury themselves. Karen Reed, we had some pretty fucking shitty experts, didn't we? And it ruined their companies. It was that egregious and that bad. And it affects other cases now because that.
Yeah, didn't he get
testimony.
fired?
Oh yeah.
From his company? Yeah.
Yeah. That Shannon guy who turned out to lie about his
Burgess.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when those experts that if something like that happens, the other cases that they've worked on and testified before, guess what? All has to be looked at. Possible for appeals again. So like there's a lot more at stake, I feel, in criminal court than civil court. But I'm not saying that civil court is not serious. I'm not saying that. There's
It's just higher stakes.
Yeah, it's much higher, right? The burden of proof is higher. Everything about it is, civil court's here, criminal is way up here, right? So,
I mean, Reckless Ben's got a different situation going on. I think his civil case is pretty, pretty high stakes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, money is high stakes, right? It absolutely is. Money's Laura has to pay, almost $200,000. So and those are nothing to squawk about. All right. Money can completely break or make somebody's entire life. We know because, we know what it's like to be poor, Laura. We don't have pony money and our parents don't have pony money. So, okay. So let's see. Maricopa County does not want to take this trial. Most counties don't want to take things to trial. Trials are expensive. They usually don't want to, but also, you got to prepare for one. You should always expect to go to one. And it is completely 100% up to the defendant, i.e. Laura, to decide what happens. Nobody else. She is 100% responsible, and the judge will confirm it, of where all of this goes, right? Not the state. So, but yeah, most counties, especially small rural counties, right? They don't got money for this sort of thing. They're very, very expensive. But, if that's what Laura wants to do, that's exactly what's going to happen. So, oh yeah, a public defender would not be able to give her near as much attention as a private. Even then, Laura is a special case. She needs attention like 24/7. So, oh, here we go. Bros says the first indigency filing was when she only had 7 charges. Oh, so Clayton's first 7, and she had her first paid attorney. Okay. The second one is after she had a court-appointed attorney and now has a paid one and 14 charges. Okay, so the first time it was filed was with Clayton, which that case then got closed, if you want to call it that. But that's because it went in with the charges from Greg into a new case. Same charges, but new case. Gotcha. Was she granted it? You probably left the message somewhere. Yeah, county budgets are limited, though we are talking about Phoenix, Arizona. All right. So their budgets are much higher than, say, a more rural county. But yes, there are limitations, and especially even more so for the public defender department. Because again, you are entitled to a lawyer, but they're swamped. You know how many poor people there are, indigent people there are. They got heavy caseloads there. So. Becca says, I bet big money, no whammy, no whammy. Queen Jennifer already knows. It's either she committed perjury in federal court or her attorney just did. I mean, this is the biggest takeaway from this entire filing. Forget the other stuff. That sounds all pretty reasonable. I don't know. I don't personally like the idea that you can have a private attorney and get, all of these other things at the state's dime when you're literally doing nothing with your life except living off your parents. She's not in jail. She's not, a single mom that has a bunch of kids. So there is probably leeway room here. But I do not like this specifically for her. But my opinion on that doesn't really matter, right? But yeah, she either lied to the federal government or lied to her lawyer who just filed this in the state court. Both are very problematic and will not come with good consequences, I feel, because they can't ignore it. When you have 14 felony charges, some of them for perjury, they're not going to ignore it. They're not going to say, oh, that was just a mistake. I just misspoke. No, not when you have those kind of charges, I don't think.
It's just a little minor perjury.
Yeah. Yeah. Not having a job is totally her decision. Absolutely. Excuse me. Jennifer, they tried her face. So let's see. 1 minute of recap. Well, I don't know how long ago this was. Oh, this was 40 minutes ago. Oh, wow. I'm so behind in chat, guys. I'm so sorry. Let's see. You should have had Terry call the BB house. I know. I don't think they done veto yet. The cams are still on. Jerks. That means they're gonna have to do work later. Rude. Oh, here, text packet. 2024 Nissan Rogue, which is not cheap. Even if they bought it at a used price. Still tens of thousands of dollars. You just got a new car, Laura would be jealous.
Nissan Rogues aren't cheap to begin with, because that was one of the cars that we looked at getting before we settled on the Chrysler. Is it a Chrysler? No, it's a Buick. I don't know why I said Chrysler.
Yeah, you got a Buick.
Chrysler? I have a Buick. Same family. But yeah, it's those were expensive. That's why we opted not to go with it. Went for something a little bigger.
Thank you, Minnie. I have not listened to the newest episode of Love Trapped yet because I like streamed nonstop for like 2 days, pretty much. So I haven't got the chance.
Another one?
Yeah,
after
on Thursday.
After number 14.
I don't know what number was Thursday. Like one just came out like this Wednesday at midnight. Thursday.
Really?
At midnight. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I have been checking and there wasn't. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't check.
I haven't got to listen to it because Thursday was like a super busy day for us, as well as Friday morning. I think I had like 2 hours off and like 40 hours or something. It was crazy.
It's okay. We love y'all.
She says the Love Trapped on Thursday said that the judge asked what it would take for her to plea, and her attorney said no, jail, prison, and the prosecutor said not taking that off the table, so she's definitely going to trial. Okay, yeah. There's no way she's not going to trial then, if that's the case. So one felony is at least $15,000. Oh, I'm assuming you're talking about retainer prices that we talked about. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Minimum. And she's got 14 of them. And there's a lot of digital for evidence. Like it's expensive.
I know you're not caught up on the chat, but I am. And there's a lot of birthday wishes. So for a second, I just want to say thank you guys so much. You are so sweet. I appreciate that. I just don't want them to think I'm ignoring them because it's sweet of them to think of me.
Right. It is. You had a great birthday, didn't you?
Yeah, I got new hair.
You got new hair. We got the BB's live feeds. Oh, did you get your steak?
I did.
Nice. Yeah. Minnie also said that Love Trap said the prosecutor said they aren't extending the plea past the new date in August. Okay. All right. Well, again, I'm fine with the filing, but what it contains is interesting. Let's see. Really hope that Queen Elizabeth requires a full accounting of the last 2 years. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to affect it. Because wait, yesterday was the 10th, and I know that the Owens had to like hand over to Queen Jen their GoFundMe accounting, and everywhere it went to. I wonder if they made the deadline. Do we know that yet? So
they sent it at like 4:00 p.m. right before the courts closed.
Am I going to be covering a trial soon? Probably, definitely not anytime soon. I mean, we'll have like hearings and stuff with like Bricks and Minifigs and with Laura, of course, too. But I don't know. Maybe later in the year, we'll have to see. My little llama starts high school, and so we have a hard time adjusting every school year, let alone a whole big new experience. So I need to make sure I'm as available for him as possible come, August, September, October, to make sure that he adjusts as well as he can to high school. So, you know how trials can be. So I don't want to, maybe once he gets settled, maybe we'll pick up a short one or something. But for now, we'll probably just be sticking with Laura and Bricks and Minifigs. But other stuff will be talked about on True Crime and Wine Time and stuff. So don't worry. I'll be talking about a lot of stuff. Trial? I don't know. We'll see. The judge can also accept the plea and not abide by the agreed sentence. Absolutely. Definitely have seen that before. I've seen them just flat out not accept the plea and be like, nope, this sucks. It's not happening. Definitely have seen that happen. So I do not know how the bankruptcy, how that went yesterday. So, they dropped the hearing from the 7th. I saw that, but I haven't listened to that either. Like, I can't tell you how hard it's only been 2 days of Big Brother. And it's very hard it's going to be very hard for me to fit in everything else.
Well, maybe if we get information from the 10th, we can listen to the 7th and the 10th.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
this
that would
week
be great.
or whatever.
That would be great. I don't think so either, Llama. When she admitted how terrified she was of going to jail, I knew she wasn't going to willingly take that. Yeah. I mean, Laura lives in a fantasy land, okay, where she thinks she's untouchable. The fact is that she is not in this case. Now, she may not end up getting the justice we all want. All right. But she's not getting off scot-free from this. I do not believe it at all. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Now, we can all argue about, how much time we think she's going to get and not get. That's impossible to know. I will tell you this, though. If she acts like a fucking dick in court and tries to pull her shenanigans between now and trial, it will be taken into consideration come sentencing time. So just, there's that. There's that possibility, so we'll see.
But I honestly don't see that happening. So far, she's been acting like it when we've heard from her in court. She's been very respectful of the judge. I think she wants to come off as, I'm just a baby. I'm just a girl. See, like I think it's an act. In my opinion,
Absolutely, it is.
that's how she comes off. She's like, yes, sir. No. Thank you so much, Your Honor. Like how she's playing up that role,
which is exactly what a lawyer is going to tell their client to do, right?
Well, absolutely.
You are in court. You be serious. You be kind. You sit there. You shut your mouth. Like that is proper etiquette. Is it probably a little bit? Yeah, of course. It's an act for a lot of people, right? You got to try to fix your face in court, which is why I would probably never be a good juror because I would be like,
do you know how hard that is?
Oh,
as a juror, because I spent a week on a murder trial, and to be like sitting there watching, and we all know Buffy makes faces. Y'all see it. Like I don't hide it. I don't even try. Like it just happens. Just to sit there and go.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like when the defendant gets on the stand to tell his side of the story, not to be like. Yeah, it's hard. It's very hard because they're watching you. They are actually watching you out there.
Right. That's the other thing, too, that if she does take it to trial with all the different charges, the jury decides on each one individually. So that's the other thing with the gamble, right, is that those perjuries, if her own lawyer said she's basically fucked, they most likely will agree, but they have to agree on every single count individually, right? It doesn't have to be like one person for like all of them, right? So she could be found guilty on 6 of the 14, 10 of the 14, 14 of the 14. It's not like, oh, if one person is out on one, all of them go away. That's not how that works either. So I definitely think she's at least getting 4 of those. Unless she takes the stand, which will maybe some more. Let's see. She wants the Mike DVRO renewed. Yeah, it's crazy. That's right. Each count has its own felony. The jury will be voting on each count separately, not as one lump sum. Exactly. So, I mean, even if she goes to trial, she's not walking away. There's no way she's getting a not guilty on every single charge. No way. I will not believe that. Mm-mm. But there might be some that they argue about for sure. Most jurors would.
She could plead guilty to some and not all of them.
That's true too. That is also very true. She absolutely could do that. She could be like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and plead guilty to the perjury ones, but I want to take the others to trial. She can do that as well. And that has nothing to do with the plea deal. She can just be like, all right, I'm pleading guilty to these 4 for perjury charges. Do you think that would be the smarter move? So the jury doesn't hear about the perjury?
Might be. It might be easier to get a not guilty on the fraud and what is the other one? Artifices?
Fraudulent artifices and something. There's also the identity theft.
Yeah.
Or Stormy's ultrasound. But then there's the big
'Cause
one.
they-
'cause the
Yeah,
big
I
one,
think she
the
might
extortion
actually
one?
be better off. Yeah. She might actually be better off to plead not guilty or plead guilty to that. So it's because they can't use it against you if you plead guilty to it. Right?
Mhm. I think so.
Because
I don't
that's why Brian Walsh pled
Yeah.
guilty to
Yeah. That's true.
the disposal of a corpse or whatever, but didn't plead to the guilty to the murder, just getting rid of the corpse.
Yeah, that's a good point. So that could be. That could be. So did any of y'all know why she wasn't made to answer for accusing Greg and Michael for setting up an encounter? To me, that should be freaking 2 years. I don't know what you mean by that, Wendy. I'm sorry.
For the I don't know, Greg and Michael. It would be
up
Greg and Greg.
Oh,
setting up
the
encounter in
Hoboken. Yeah, she's
Well, because there's no proof and she didn't actually file anything with FBI. It sounds like it was just a claim that she made against the bar. I don't know if you can be charged.
Kato
for
says
that,
the plea deal already has some charges dismissed, did it? Oh, by the way, they're filming Vito now because guess what? We got pets. I'm gonna hate all of these pets tomorrow.
What pets are they? We got puppies.
We got 2 kittens playing in their cute little cat tunnels. That's cute. By the way, if you
Okay.
watch Big Brother, these are not new ones all the time. They're recorded and it's the same ones for the next 3 months. Oh, there's a little doggy. It looks like a pit bull. Oh,
Yay. I don't have my feeds going.
The dog kennels always look so sad. It's like this dog with a Kong, and then the 2 kittens have these play tunnels and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me so sad.
See, when I volunteer at the shelter,
hmm
the kennels are terrible. There's just like concrete puppy jails. They're not cute. They're not fun. They're gross. And there's usually like 2 or 3 in one of them. There's not enough room.
Right? Wendy says, I know it can't happen quickly, but something needs to be done about people not having a violent criminal history. It doesn't have to be violent to be just as impactful. I agree with you 100%, Wendy. But I will say this, a lot of places aren't even factoring in emotional abuse as abuse, like as violence in domestic violence cases. Like they're getting there, but it's I agree. I think this was what's the word I want to use? Financial violence in a way, making them go to courts. What's the word? I don't know. I agree with you though. Just because something physically doesn't happen, which honestly, thank God, nothing physical has happened to anyone. But the fact that we know for a fact Clayton has battled suicidal thoughts. I'm sure some of the others have as well. I mean, there are huge effects here. And I think we need to rework our wording of violence. Yes, Buffy.
Apparently, it's in the new Love Trapped.
What? Okay. Well, after we're done here, they're playing Vito, so that's going to be like 3 hours. So I guess
I
I'm going.
wonder if she's going to make that claim in her new filing
No.
with the DVRO.
Shut up. No way. Well, that would be wild. I know. Isn't her hair fabulous? I love it.
Thank you.
No. How did Mike come up into
I'm gonna have I will never sleep. We have all the
No.
things to listen and
We're
watch.
literally not sleeping for 3
Never.
months. So you'll see. We'll be tired come Wednesday. We'll be like, we've gotten 2 hours of sleep in 5 days.
It's gonna get weird.
And we're
guys.
paranoid.
It's gonna get
We're
weird.
gonna get weird.
It's gonna get real weird.
Kath says the lawyer probably talks to her. She agrees to something, goes home, and the voices in her head tell her to do the opposite. Or her parents or her mom. I am sure there's, oh, my kitten's cute. And I hate that cat in like 3 days. But could be, right? Then she files back one of her long ass letters being like, yeah, but like, I didn't understand or whatever. Tony says, I'm with you, Llama, that there has not been one filing in all this other than travel, and now the request for expert. It's weird. It's weird. Even for a case that isn't, a murder case that we normally watch or something. But how long until her attorney is something, or the state or something else? I mean,
soon as he's gone, she's gonna
I'm
write
sure
a
there's a
strongly
bar
worded
complaint.
email.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. They really trying to throw Mike. Of course she fucking is. Ugh. She makes me so mad. So mad. But one day we'll get justice for something. I can promise you that. Didn't Rittenhouse get hired GoFundMe lawyers, but got money from the state extra? That's a good question. I don't remember. I watched the trial. I cannot remember off the top of my head if he did or did not. So, by the way, a fascinating trial to watch. And if you haven't ever watched it, then I rest assured can tell you what you think you know about it is not what happened in the trial. So it's a fascinating trial to watch. For numerous, I mean, the list of reasons is why it's one of the ones I recommend to watch. So, let's see. Judge Glita made me mad this week, and I had to turn him off. Everything else happening. Wait, what? Judge Glita? Oh, are you
Judge Gilday in the Karen Reed trial? I'm telling you, what the last few weeks would have made you throw your phone against the wall. The virtual juror is not lying.
Oh,
it's not even.
I would never think she is.
Well, no, but I'm saying, like, you know how I talk. I'm not gonna lie. I was sitting there this morning with my coffee, catching up on that, and I was like, I looked at my husband. I said, "This judge fucking pisses me off worse than Canoni."
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's wow. You went around the stand telling the jury that Greg is a master hacker. I know, right? I think from a jury perspective, if they're coming at you with somebody who's accused of perjury, of fraud, and you're sitting on that jury, now every defendant has a right not to take the stand, and it cannot be held against them, and I agree. But just because that's the case, would you feel like you really kind of needed to hear that? For example, self-defense cases more often, like way more higher percentage take the stand than any other crime because you basically have to show your state of mind during something like that. But I feel like I would need them to tell me why they're not a liar. Because what am I supposed to do? The only way to prove you're not a liar is make people to believe you, right? Well, nobody else is going to make me be able to believe you but you. So I would think they might need her to take the stand. Does she have to? No. Should it be held against her? No. Do I want it? As a juror, yes. And as a viewer, yes. Very much so. After we watched that paternity trial, oh, I want it so bad. She'd be dumb as shit to take the stand, though. But then again, it's Laura, so you'll have that. Mary, be careful. Open windows, let the meth raccoons in. That's true. Our raccoons in Ohio. So I think that's a pretty good summary of today's wild reading that I cannot wait to hear what other people have to say about this. I can't wait to see if the state does respond. It's either going to be just disappointing and basic, or they might be like, yo, Your Honor, so maybe not. Maybe not so fast with that. Plus, they'll have seen if they file the affidavit. There could be things in the sealed affidavit that we just don't know. Right? What about her Barry's membership in classes? Oh my gosh. They send caretakers to jail too. They do. We do.
Is berries really that expensive? What's so special
Yeah.
about berries?
She takes classes.
Okay, I
And so
joined a gym and took classes, but it wasn't expensive.
apparently that one is very, very expensive. I forget how much they said. I want to say it was like $500 a month. Of course, that
A
could have
month?
been. Yeah, that could have been
Are they giving
hyperbolic
her a
and a
bath
joke, but I
too
don't know.
every day? What did that include?
It could also include Jan too. I don't know. I know I looked at it and I was like, I would never spend that much money in a
I'm
gym.
gonna say I paid for a gym that had a sauna, 2 pools, a water park, all the classes and spin classes, all the things. And it didn't cost me that much. And it was a family.
That's right, Kate does. Person does not care about your disability. There are blind people, deaf people, paraplegic people, people in wheelchairs. I mean, name it. There now we could sit and argue, mental health. There's a lot of people in there with mental health issues, which one could argue is maybe not the best place for them, of course. But that just shows you doesn't matter. Pregnant women get sent to prison and jail. You're not special. It will not factor in anything, in my opinion. So she can say what she wants. It doesn't matter. There's tons, thousands of people in jail with disabilities, some way more severe than her. What is she? Non-violent, high-functioning autism or whatever stupid shit she said. So, right? Oh, well, so Sherry says, I personally feel that a committed to a mental institution is the only answer because even in jail, she had managed to get all kinds of media attention. Good. But I wouldn't be surprised if at a certain point, if they're like, no, you're not getting a mental health expert or something like that, right? She could potentially, speculation wise, entirely my opinion, decide she's finally going to check into one so that way she can play that card. Still won't do her a damn bit of good. All right, because it doesn't really matter when it comes to the legal face of things. So, can she prove autism? I'd love to see. She could say she has it. I don't believe her at all until I see real doctor's note about it, which we've yet to see in anything. So, I don't. Tony says I don't believe Rachel would shut the trial down because it's costing too much. She knows how publicity it would look, and she is an elected official. That's an excellent point. It's a very good, excellent point. And people were already pissed about the plea deal to begin with. People being the public. So
She
fair.
don't want hate mail on her desk. She's like, they're going to be writing mean letters. I don't want that. I know it was a pretty big letter writing campaign that got it.
When's their election cycle for the DA? And listen, if you don't know that they do stuff to get elected, all right, it's interesting. There are some crimes that have been cold for years that all of a sudden they put somebody in custody because in 2 weeks it's the sheriff election. Richard Allen. It happens all the time for elected positions where same with Pedro Hernandez from the Aton Pates case. I believe that was a political situation there. It happens all the time. It actually does matter to these people. Should it in the eyes of justice? No, in my opinion, but it does. Very, very much does. He went Dr. Shannon Curry, right? She's from the Johnny Depp trial, in case you don't know. Let's see. Not an OBGYN. I did sleep at the computer and video expert is the ones they will hire to throw doubt and counterpoint Laura's text messages and her arts and crafts. Just get one juror to believe their expert. I mean, that could be, but again, one of the things, the judges do say to all jurors is you decide who you believe, including the experts. You can believe part of their testimony, none of their testimony. You decide what weight you want to put on anyone's testimony. The judge verifies that and says they're an expert in court, but you are to weigh their testimony as much as you would anyone else's testimony. So, but the thing though with digital evidence is it's kind of there's only so many things you could probably argue about. And they'll try, I'm sure, but we'll see. Let's see. I think, oh, this is a good. I think women is fucked by both men and women jurors. The women for Laura pretending to be a victim, hence making it harder for women to be believed, and men who've had that one single girlfriend in their life. Well, also, yeah, I think for a lot of men, right, getting a hookup pregnant would be very shocking for them, and I don't think that's a wrong reaction to have, even for a woman too, right? And worried that somebody was trying to do something like this to you. So I don't think the only I don't really think there would be a different. I'll tell you what though, any woman that is going to be like, well, that's all bullshit. That's not how any of that works. Men maybe not so much because they've never been to an OBGYN, but I think equally for both of them, it would be very easy to relate to the stories that will be told. So if she gets probation, there's a high possibility that she cannot follow those rules. She hates to show up in person. Well, that's what probation is all about. Yeah. So, but also just when you're put on probation, like after so many years, depending how, like, let's say you're on probation for 10 years, after 2 years or so, like if you've called in or showed up, passed all your shit, done whatever classes, paid your restitution, they can put you on non-reporting probation. They can change it over the time. And then you could even later ask to get taken off of probation. But usually if you owe money, they won't let you. But there's a very good chance that after a year or two, she's just on non-reporting or just calls in once every couple months. We know she doesn't, but we don't know for a fact she doesn't do drugs or have a drug habit. But I have no reason, honestly, to believe there is one of anything. So I don't know. I'm just saying, I know that that can be the case. Do you remotely believe Laura's attorney is going to put an expert on that agrees with the state experts? Well, they'll put them on the list. That doesn't mean they need to call them. You can have an expert and have them do it doesn't mean you need to call them to the stand. So, but you're going to want one just to guide you and help you decipher what the state's expert said, right? So, I don't know. What are your thoughts, Buffy? Do you have any way I look through these and whatnot?
Pretty much said all my thoughts.
Oh yeah, her hair looks great.
My hair. It's brand new. I just got it 2 hours ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. What if Laura set her sights on a new lawyer and is doing whatever she can to drag this on? I don't think that is what is happening, but I love that it could be. She's absolutely going to end up getting a new lawyer. Of course she is at some point. For whatever reason. All right. Or this lawyer could drop her. I don't know. But I would bet there's at least going to be 1 to 2 more based on her patterns that we've covered thus far. Absolutely could be wrong, but you know. I know there's not enough time for everything, Berkeley Farm. Or just what?
Bricks and minifigs, Owens, Karen Reed. That was all craziness this week. All craziness.
Now, I hate that. I really, really do. I know that Clayton and Greg and Mike want justice and they want it now and they want it quick. And they expressed that at one of the hearings that they're tired of her delaying. But quite frankly, this is the baby beginning steps of this case. Those charges only came down in November. It hasn't even been a year. I wouldn't be surprised if it's at least a whole nother year. And I can't imagine what that must feel like on their end when you know what you have opinions about her guilt, what she's done. I absolutely understand the frustration of that. And victims say that all the time, how awful it is to go through. But again, this is somebody who tries to find every single crack and loophole she can possibly squeeze anywhere, no matter how outlandish it is. And you really do not we're finally at a case where the consequences are real and tangible, right? The other ones were money or, really nothing. She had no consequences for Mike or for Greg yet, nothing. And so we really want to make sure that this case, the one with actual possible real consequences, doesn't fall through. Because I've seen cases overturned just like that over some constitutional stuff. Like, so
last few case, I mean, there's been a lot of cases recently that's been just
I called
overturned.
Murdaugh getting a new trial like a week after he was
Murdaugh?
found guilty. I was like, he's getting a new trial, guarantee it. Sure enough,
Adam
guess
Montgomery, Letitia Stout,
what? Mm-hmm.
all
Yeah.
all murder trials, 2 of them involving children.
Yeah. So you just never know. You want to dot all your I's and dot all your I's and cross all your T's is what you want to do.
Or you can cross your I's and dot your T's too.
Sure.
If you dot your T, it turns into an I. So whatever.
It does. It's an eye wearing shoulder pads.
I told you it's gonna get weird.
You're gonna get weird.
I told you it's gonna get weird.
Discord's a fun time. You should come watch Big Brother with us and watch all our crazy chats in our Discord server, The Courtyard.
Some people only come hang out in our chats just to watch us go back and forth. They don't even care about me.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true. That is absolutely true. Flashman comes in because he just likes to watch our craziness as we chat in the side chats about our thoughts.
He's like, y'all are so funny.
But that is, she owes her first, what? Momster comes in a little late to the stream. Laura owes her first private attorney $40,000. Oh, this attorney is so going to drop her as a client. That was her first one after the first 7 charges, right? $40K.
Probably.
There was that was filed in May 2025. The next one was November 2025. So $40,000 in June, July, August, September, October. 6 months. $40,000.
It seems
so
a criminal crime.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That was for 7. So now with 14 charges, that could have even just been the retainer for this one. And if I was that attorney, I would definitely be nervous. I'd be real nervous about the work I'm going to do and whether or not I'm going to get paid. The answer is you're not going to, looters. All right. Spoiler alert. We know who's your client and family is. Okay. You're not getting paid. They won't even pay for their own stuff and they're in bankruptcy court. So there's that. All right, friends. Well, listen, we're going to hop off here because we're not usually on the weekends, but I had so many thoughts about this. I'm sorry we couldn't get to anybody's questions or comments. I was way back in those. I'm sorry. I'm not used to that many people chatting, and I really appreciate that. Again, we are just 2 girls who watch trials and court stuff for funsies because we're nerds and we just have microphones on YouTube. There are definitely professionals who either may have the same or differing opinions or other creators. So I know I'm going to be very excited to watch everyone else's coverage of this because it should be talked about. I have no idea what it could affect either the bankruptcy, the federal court, this court, but it's not great. It's not great. And again, she's literally recorded saying she's never, this is another instance of perjury while she's facing perjury charge, right? It's like when you're facing charges, right, for one crime. And then while you're doing those, you create another crime. And that is what the courts really don't like. They really, really don't like that. Let alone when it's lying to the federal government. Or maybe it's the state court. I don't know. It doesn't matter. They're not going to be happy about this. And I have no idea what that means. I've never seen it before. As a matter of fact, the few people that we've watched or covered that have had perjury charges just accept a plea deal, which is like probation for a year.
I don't think I've ever heard of anybody getting a perjury charge.
They did in the Rogers case.
Oh, yeah.
No, not just the brother. The brother Nick now is facing a perjury charge, but one of the
Oh.
witnesses, I can't remember what his name was when the FBI started looking into it, like 2021 or whatever. He had lied to investigators. He was, I can't remember their name, and said he was somewhere where he wasn't. I don't know. I think they did like 30 counts of perjury. It's a bunch of bullshit, if you ask me. It was intimidating to get people to say stuff for the state. I have
Oh,
strong
there was,
opinions
yeah,
about
yeah,
that
yeah.
case.
I know what you're talking about.
But they held him in jail for like 6 months, and then he
They
just pleaded
threatened that
guilty, and he
one
was
with
out,
her
so
kids. They were threatening all kinds of people with a lot of
yeah,
stuff to get what they wanted.
absolutely. Absolutely. I know, Deannie, I know. Weekends do get lonely on the YouTubes. So join the Discord and we'll be over there. So, all right, friends. Well, we are going to go. If you haven't yet, please go. We have the new Couch Court with Llama channel that we will eventually be moving over there very soon once we meet the YouTube quota to stand on our own, whatever that is. I don't remember. Please watch our
Like
content
1,000.
over there too for
We
watch
need
hours.
1,000 subs.
Oh, I thought it was 500. It's 1,000.
It's 500 for supers. It's 1,000 for AdSense. And then
Okay.
we need 4,000 hours of watch time. So
All right.
watching.
So go do that. Even if you put it on mute, I won't tell anybody. But if you can, please go subscribe to that channel as well. And if you're new to the True Crime and Wine Time channel, subscribe there because I do lots of work over here too. True Crime and Wine Time podcast. We're starting a show. Llama learns about for our members only. Coffee with Dairy and Llama for members only. I do something else too. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But anyway, I'm in both places. But eventually, Buffy and I will be over on doing Couch Court over there. So make sure you do that. If you're part of the replay crew, please also hit the hype button if you don't mind. That would be great. It puts us in a special little algorithm. And if you weren't able to ask questions in the live chat, or if you were in the live chat and we didn't get to it, please go ahead and put it in the comments of this video. We do look at them and we'll try our best to respond. So very excited about that. Anything you want to say before we go, Buffs?
No, I talked a lot. I talked a lot this stream. I'm not used to talking that much. I feel like I was on
love it.
drugs or something. Sometimes I'm just a bobblehead. And sometimes I have a lot to say.
Well, in fairness, we went live because there was a lot to say from this filing. So no, it was great. Well, thank you all for being here. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. We'll be back next week with all sorts of coverage. Bam, Laura on Friday. Unless there's more breaking Laura news, we'll work that into our week. Like, let's say the prosecutor files something and it's good. We'll go live with that. But anyway, hope you all have an amazing weekend. And as always, go forth and be amazing. All right. Bye, friends.